It's time for the finals of the Battle Judgment, and we finally get to see Geoforged Dragonoid. I am Haru and welcome to my review of episode 25 of Geogan Rising. So, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen this episode yet, go back and watch it now, but if you have, sit back, relax, and enjoy my review of Geogan Rising episode 25. The first part is the Fateful Final Battle. It's time for the final battle of the Judgment, the battle to decide whether or not Vestroia and Earth should be separated. It's Nilius versus Dragonoid, Magnus versus Dan. This is the ultimate stage fight that Magnus was looking for, and now it's time to settle the rivalry between the two. Oh man, this is going to be such an epic fight. You know, ignoring the ignorant reasons Magnus is part of this. If you don't believe me, listen to this.
The way this is going, Earth and Vestroia are definitely going their separate ways.
See, he knows. It's not like he's being kept in the dark about this.
You mean Magnus is using this battle, a battle with the fate of Earth and Vestroia riding on it, just to draw out Dan's full power?
Unbelievable. All he ever does is cause trouble.
Well, when you put it like that in anyway, he sounds like a terrible person, doesn't he? Blame the writers, not him. You know, ignoring the cynicism of the background for this fight choreography and animation looks really good. Both Jonah Weinberg and Julius Cho putting on their best aggressiveness in their voices and their performances, it's actually really satisfying. Like, if you listen closely, you can hear the intensity just coming from their voices.
Go! Nilius! Darkus! Assault!
Pyrus, Tornado!
Pact of Darkness!
Bakugan are irreplaceable, and they're the most loyal friends you could ever have! We will protect the bond we've built with Bakugan!
Yeah!
I refuse to live my life without Bakugan!
Really, this is bravo work. Now if we can get more of this in more future episodes, heck, I'd even watch a whole movie with these two just fighting. The only problem really is that the fight just don't feel like an actual final fight because, well, it just isn't. Magnus is not the final villain here, it's Viloch, so we know something is going to happen. Not to mention, this fight is not even personal. Dan and Magnus are just fighting for the sake of just fighting. So while this looks awesome, it's not feeling that way. But I'm not sure, maybe this was actually intentional from a story standpoint, but really the writing leading up to this doesn't really save this season. But as the battle continues, Nilius is close to defeat when Viloch all of a sudden jumps in to try and convince Magnus to make Nilius Ultimate Nilius. I don't know about you guys, but I genuinely want to see that. Magnus refuses, saying he'd rather use his own power to beat down or lose to him. Literally one of the only redeeming qualities of Magnus' character since being butchered this season.
Defeating Dan Kouzo wouldn't mean a thing if I didn't use my own power.
Magnus!
Why does Nilius give off that line like he was disappointed he didn't get to be ultimate? I would think he would have been proud of Magnus, not sounding like he's frustrated with him. Voice direction probably got confused directing Corey Doran there. So I guess Viloch just calls the Battle Judgment off, breaking the Bakugan Constitution, and becomes Ultimate Viloch. The animation with this looks absolutely glorious, considering this is like the second last episode. They really want to finish looking as pretty as possible, huh? So yeah, I guess Magnus and Dan will have to settle their score another time since this fight was just called off. If you're going to continue this next season, please don't write it where it's going to frustrate the ever-living hell out of me. Now we continue with Invincible Viloch. Just look at that good mix of gold and darkness around Viloch. It looks amazing. Viloch awakens the Infinity Stones, the Faction Crystals, which I would be more in awe of if they actually took the time to build them up and actually gave some background about how they work and why they're so powerful and important.
With this immense power, I shall break the great nexus that holds Earth and Vestroia together, and Earth, with its weak humans, shall fall into pitiful ruin!
I gotta say, Martin Roach delivers these villainous lines perfectly. What a great casting choice for Viloch. I can literally sense the evil coming from his voice. But I guess Viloch now wants to destroy Earth because of his hatreds for humans being escalated, I guess. They're seriously not being very clear about that, and for some reason Reed feels surprised when Viloch betrayed him even though the terms of their so-called agreement was never established at all. I don't know what Reed and Viloch's entire deal was. I don't know what their relationship was. It was literally such a 50-50 shot of guessing who betrays who. Seriously, this season actually feels like there are parts of the script just missing or were cut out. Like, we know what Viloch's benefits would be from teaming with Reed. He wants to separate Earth and Vestroia, okay, but we don't know what Reed's Reed's benefits would be from teaming with Viloch. If anything, like I said before, Reed would have more to lose when they win. All we know is that it's just backwards motivation. It really seems like they had something written for Reed's story to interconnect with Viloch, but then they realized how short the season was, so it was cut out. So forgive me if I have to consistently ask what you revealed about Reed that makes me want to care. Oh yeah, his Spartillion was a spy or something all along. I'm not sure why it's all surprising, really. I had my theories before, but it was not hard to figure out. So Viloch is absorbing the faction crystals, the other awesome brawlers join in, and holy lord, Viloch's attack animations are top notch. I'm starting to suspect where the writing budget went. But when all hope seems lost, the awesome brawlers each get their own lines for bonds and friendship dialogue, and it awakens the faction artifacts inside Drago, and then we get a glorious animation of Drago transforming into the capstone toy for this year, Geoforged Dragonoid, after combining with the Geogons, and the episode ends with Geoforged Dragonoid about to fight Ultimate Viloch in the final episode of the season. So that was Geogan Rising episode 25. Let me know what your rating of the show was in the comments down below. Alright, really, this episode felt more focused on visuals than it did story. We knew all this would come together eventually, but watching this, it felt more apart than ever. I did enjoy the animations and overall presentation from a visual standpoint, but the writing and the build-up all season leading up to this didn't make this as impactful as it could have been. Reed and Viloch's partnership still confuses me, so Viloch's betrayal of Reed doesn't really feel like an actual betrayal. It only made Reed incredibly stupid. Magnus and Dan didn't get to finish their rivalry that this season seemed to have built up for Magnus' story, so it probably will continue in the next season. Whether that's a positive or negative, it really depends on direction. But I still like the animation, the great intense voice acting, and the overall theme, and no, I'm not even going into how half the stage can be Pyrule and half the stage can be Darkavia. That's a joke I'll leave you to interpret. Great visuals, poor execution of the culmination. And really, since the next episode is supposed to continue from this, I really have no hope that's gonna get better. You had this one shot, and you blew it. So, I'll give this episode a low Geogan in the middle. Thank you for watching this review of Geogan Rising. Be sure to press the thumbs up and give us a subscribe for more awesome Bakugan content. I've been Haru Ren, and thank God for Rapid Fire. Bye.